before, his family had come to the attention of the social services when some support had been put in, and now, while Max's mother was in hospital, his 3 teenage sisters were supposed to be looking after him, but last night they'd gone out partying instead. A neighbour had alerted the social services when Max had knocked at her door asking for dinner, and she'd taken him in. I also knew from Jill that Max was being brought into care under Section 20 of the Children's Act, also known as accommodated. This is when parents agree to place their child in care voluntarily, rather than going to court and risking a care order, which would mean they would lose their parental rights. Around 30% of children who come into care are placed under Section 20. Jill had said she was hoping to be with me when Max arrived, and I now phoned her to let her know the time. "Okay, see you later," she said. I began a quick tidy-up of the living room and also took food from the freezer for dinner later. I knew from experience that when a child first arrived with their social worker, there was a lot to get through, and also Joe was expecting me to take Max to visit his mother in hospital, so time would be short. Adrian, my 7-year-old son, would be pleased to have another boy staying with us, I mused as I worked, although in truth he and my 3-year-old daughter, Paula, usually got along with any child we looked after. They'd grown up with fostering, so having someone else living with us was the norm. Also the norm, although it saddened me to say so, was that I was now a single parent, as my husband John had left us 18 months before. I'd taken a short break immediately after he'd gone, and then a few months later, with the children's agreement, I'd resumed fostering. I enjoyed fostering, caring for and helping the children while they were with me. It gave another dimension to my life, and the small payment I received, together with the part-time work I did from home, paid the bills. At present, Adrian was at school and Paula was playing at a friend's house. I would collect her on the way to meet Adrian from school. I'm always a bit anxious just before a new child arrives, wondering how they will settle and if they will like my family and me. But once they're here, I'm so busy that there isn't time to worry. I just concentrate on looking after them and meeting their needs to the best of my ability. This afternoon, however, 10 minutes before I was due to leave to collect Adrian and Paula, my anxiety level rose to a new height. The phone rang and I answered it in the hall, expecting Jill or Joe with some more news about Max or a last-minute change of plan, which happens a lot in fostering. However, a rather gruff woman's voice I didn't recognise demanded, "Is that Kathy Glass?" "Yes," I said tentatively. "Who's calling?"
"Max's mum, Kaz. I'm warning you. Lay one finger on my boy and you'll be sorry. Do you understand? I might be in hospital, but his dad isn't, and he don't stand any nonsense."
Chapter 2. Max. My heart began to race and my mouth had gone dry. "Of course, I'll take good care of Max," I reassured his mother, ignoring her slight and trying to keep my voice even. I appreciated that parents who've just had their children taken into care are often angry and upset, but threatening me before I'd even met the child was a first. However, as worrying as this was, of more concern was how his mother, Kaz, had got my number. "Who gave you my telephone number?" I asked.
His social worker. Our solicitor told her she had to give it to us as he's in care voluntarily, or I wouldn't have agreed to him going.
Sometimes the parents of children in care under a Section 20 are given the contact details of the carer, but usually the carer is asked first, and it's in cases where there is no animosity, and the parents are working with the social workers and the foster carer in the best interests of the child. I didn't dare ask if she had my address too.
"Make sure you give Max what he wants to eat," she continued in the same confrontational tone. "I'll be asking him when I see him what he's had, so it better be good. No cheap rubbish."
"I always give the children good food and a balanced diet," I said. "When they first arrive, I ask them what they like and dislike."
"Max likes everything, and plenty of it, so give him whatever he wants. I've told Joe, the social worker, I want to see him every evening. You going to be bringing him?"
"I expect it will be me," I said. "I'm seeing Jo later when she brings Max to me, so she'll tell me about the contact arrangements then." For even when a child is in care voluntarily, it's usual to have a timetable of contact.
"I've told her